What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. We've finally got the brand new KIZUNA Clash versus Alber, and in this video we're just looking at the 10-star difficulty. We've got 3 different teams against all 3 variations. We have an accessible team, we've got one that has, more focus on the recent characters, and then we've got the full boosted team for each individual variation. This team actually worked really well versus the strength boss. Some of the accessible teams that I show in this video, I mean, one in particular is a little sketchy, and I probably wouldn't really suggest it because there was some incorrect things on my behalf, but you can definitely make some swift changes to make them a lot better. But this one actually works very well, using the Beppo to remove the special bind on stage 2, and then obviously getting the tandem slot. Now remember, post level 31, this boss has the capabilities of changing color from being normally a strength boss, but actually can change into a dex boss, which is really stupid. I think color changing on KIZUNA is one of the most degenerate things that they could ever come up with, but this is a pretty decent team that could get the job done. Moving on, we've got an Oden and Toki team. Now, I did kind of make a little bit of an error with this team, and, you see when you get to the last stage in terms of what happens, but, I just remembered that when you use the special ability of Kinemon, Denjiro, Ashura, and Dogstorm, they actually change all slots into matching, and the problem is the enemy has a tandem barrier, so you do need to somehow maintain a tandem slot, and of course, with the superclass of K-Dad, you can actually generate tandem slots for the middle row, as you see here, but it means that when we use the special on the last stage, it will actually just straight up remove the tandem slots, which is not good. So realistically, you have to kind of come up with a different way to deal with slots on the Black Maria stage, unfortunately. So that is going to be probably a little bit of an issue, but I mean, Kawamatsu is not needed on this team, so you could probably switch him out for another character, and it would make the team run a little bit more smoothly, so that you could actually use the superclass and the special of K-Dad on the last stage. And now we get to the full boosted team. Now, this is one of the big things a lot of people are kind of discussing right now, and how to get Zora's level 3 captain ability on the final stage of every single variation. So we're showing you guys exactly how we're able to do that. Now, on each, this one team versus all different variations, and, we have the Sabo and Ace, which enables us to get around every single debuff, as well as give us a boost on stage 2 of the KIZUNA, which makes things a lot easier. But you really have to kind of take your time to ensure that you're attacking super effectively with the Zora level 2 captain ability, to generate more Wano slots so that you can actually kill this boss, of course. And whenever you're hitting super effectively, you're generating more Wano slots, and that enables you to, get to the level 3 captain ability way easier. So you're just taking your time on stage 1, kill the mobs at the front. You got the turtles, which you can, go ahead and one-tap with the boosters, which are super effective against all types, which enable them to generate a Wano slot every single turn. So you just have to be patient with it. Moving on now, we have our second fight versus Quick, and this is our accessible team against it, where we're using Frankie as our main captain with the friend captain Sanji, and this is probably one of the better ways to get around it, because on the final stage there is a damage limiter. So if you're not using Zoro with his level 3 captain ability, the only other way to get around it is by using Frankie's captain action to bypass it. However, the thing is you can literally kill the boss over 2 turns, because the boss actually doesn't do anything after the first turn has passed. So it means that you can just take 2 turns to kill him. The thing is though, is if you are using the boosters, the Frankie and the Brook new booster characters, they actually don't deal with defense up completely. They only will deal with it for 1 turn. So that is something you do have to keep in mind. If you're using the full booster team, you still need the level 3 captain to kill in 1 turn. Otherwise, you do need some other character on the team that can remove up to 4 to 5 turns of enemies' defense up. So that is kind of important and something you do have to keep in mind. But the Viper special, very good for stage 2 to make sure that Sanji's recovery slots are going to be treated as beneficial to the crew. And we actually have a pretty good damage with this team, honestly. Of course, Luffy and Yamato are replaceable, but they are just a really nice unit to have. Moving on now to the next team versus Quick, and this is using, you know, I guess it is using more modern characters, but it isn't using the boosters. So here we have with Luffy Yamato as the captain with the friend Zoro this time, and we just do so much damage. Of course, having Hiyori on the team makes it a lot easier to generate the Wano slots for us, as we can have Wano slots on stage 1, we can use her special on stage 2 as well. Just, there's lots to like about this, honestly. Hiyori's just one of the perfect partners with this brand new legend Zoro, and obviously Sanji's really nice, switching into the captain position, so we can actually get access to superclass free spirit. Roger is on the team because he does remove 3 turns of resilience, and he has double special, so he can remove 6 turns of resilience, which does occur post level 30. It's gonna be very important for this fight. And also we have double conditionals with Robin and also the Zoro special. So in terms of damage, this team goes absolutely bonkers. But of course, it is a little bit less tickets and coins for your super boss if you're not using, you know, double Zoro or the Brook or the Frankie rare recruit characters. But still, it's a really, really fun team to use. And then once again, here we have our double Zoro team with the full boost, and of course we're going to try and generate as many Wano slots as we possibly can. A good thing here about Sabo and Ace is because they are a Dex character, you can use them to generate Wano slots for the versus quick fight, which is nice. You can like one-tap some of the turtles to generate some Wano slots. You can also use them to generate a Wano slot against that Apu boss because he is quick. And of course you can see that we can actually one-tap these turtles without killing them to make sure that we can consume as many Wano slots as possible. And typically when you enter stage 2, you want to make sure that the gauge is at like 6 or 5 to 6 out of 10. If you get to that point, then, you know, getting through here with, you know, 5 Wano slots in 1 turn is pretty accessible. And of course, with Ace and Sabo providing so much damage on stage 2, you don't really have to worry about that at all. You could also, you know, the other thing about it as well is make sure you have the support of a Luffy on the Ace and Sabo so that their orb boost actually lasts for 3 turns. So as I was mentioning a little earlier, this is the accessible team that I wasn't really happy with. I would probably switch out to Gecko Moria for something, and Who's Who I would definitely be switching out. Essentially, you just need an attack boost or an affinity boost that lasts for multiple turns, because there is Intimidate on the final stage, which removes 1 turn of attack boost and color affinity. So as long as the attack boost or color affinity lasts for 2 turns, it will mean that the enemy cannot completely remove it for you. So this team still would work well, but you do have to change some units around in order to get out the most damage possible, and it's relatively accessible, I would say, aside from the Super Sugo Fest exclusive Yamato, and of course utilizing the friend captain Alber for his damage too is really, really fun. So overall, a really, really fun team to use. And now we get to have a look at Alber as the main captain, and yeah, this team just does absolutely bonkers absurd damage. Realistically, you could probably use Jack on the team as well, instead of the Blackbeard that we have here, but still a really, really fun team that gets so much damage. And I mean, if worse comes to worse, and you know, the double Zora team isn't capable of outputting enough damage at really high KIZUNA levels, then switching to a team somewhat similar to this is probably going to be the way to go. Just versus Kaido adds so much damage, and the fact that it allows you to get the double special of like Queen, for example, or King, to give you huge damage potential from those effects. And a lot of people forget about it, but the resistance buffs that characters like Legend Jack and Legend Queen give the crew are so enormous, and they make such a big difference in terms of damage that a lot of people really don't even, you know, pay any attention to. So overall, a really awesome team. You know, of course, the synergy between Kaido, Alber, Queen, and Jack is just phenomenal. And we do have Black Maria on the team to help us remove some of the paralysis, and we also have the support Jack on Queen, which is why we don't have Legend Jack, but still, the support of that Jack allows us to remove up to 6 turns now of paralysis on the crew, which is needed post level 31. And then we can have a look at the final team versus Sai, which has the full boost. And one thing that's kind of important is you don't necessarily need Zora's level 3 captain for this quest, but one thing that is important is trying to get Wano slots and keep them for the final stage. Because what happens is the enemy will give you paralysis slots, and of course when you use Frankie's special, it does remove paralysis, but it changes the slots into matching instead of, you know, Wano or whatever it is. And what that means is that you can't actually break through the enemy's barrier. I believe you need a tandem or a Wano, I think it's Wano slots for this one. You need a Wano slot in order to break through the barrier, and if you don't carry Wano slots into the last stage, you're going to find yourself with a little bit of issues. So it's very important that you do that, especially post level 31, you actually get given super block slots when you reach the final stage. So definitely getting Wano slots on stage 2 and carrying them into the final stage is going to be very vital. But anyways, that is going to wrap it up for me. I'm going to upload another video shortly with the super boss teams that I have initially for you guys. So hopefully you guys stick around for that. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.